Hey guys, what's up? Otaku Mike here, doing another manga first impressions video for you. Today we are getting in our time machine, going back to the 90s, and we are looking at Pokemon Adventures. What? Yeah. So if you don't know what Pokemon Adventures is, Pokemon Adventures is basically a manga adaptation of the games themselves. And our story starts out with these kids trying to catch a Nidorina, and they can't catch it. And then, lo and behold, our main protagonist, Red, shows up, whips out his Poliwhirl, catches it, and he's like, yeah, I caught it. And which is a whole real funny scene of like them trying to catch the Pokemon. As he's walking away, so some members of Team Rocket brush up against him, and he's like, what was that? What was that, Team Rocket?" Not really. He didn't know who they were. He hears about this phantom Pokemon, so he goes off to the woods and basically tries to catch himself a phantom Pokemon, which just happens to be Mew. And out there, he kind of meets his rival, who is Blue. We don't know much about Blue at this moment, but Blue is trying to fight Mew and capture Mew with the Charmander, and it's unsuccessful because it's Mew, and he's like, oh well, like they get their asses handed to him basically, and like Blue's like, oh, I'm done with this, I'm not gonna do this. Then Red decides to go to Professor Oak's place to try to become basically like a Pokemon trainer because he doesn't know much about Pokemon training, even though he already has a Pokemon. It turns out he accidentally lets all of Professor Oak's Pokemon out, and so him and Professor Oak have to go capture them all back up, which is a pretty fun little scene, and you get to see him get his second Pokemon. No, his third Pokemon actually, which is Bulbasaur. You get to see Bulbasaur fight a Machamp, which is really, really cool. And Bulbasaur kind of like bonds with Red. So Professor Oak lets him keep him. And he's like, here, take this Pokédex. And so he goes with Red on his Pokemon journey to basically figure out like what, you know, just go on a Pokemon journey and capture your Pokemon, get this Pokédex updated, which is really cool. One thing about this series is the fights. The fights in this are amazing. Like, this is how they would have, that's how I would picture Pokemon fights happening. It's not like the anime, you know, better than the anime, I would say. Like, eventually he goes to, is it Pewter City, and fights Brock, and ends up capturing Pikachu, which that in itself is really, really funny. The relationship with him and Pikachu, because Pikachu's a jerk, like a really big jerk. He wants nothing to do with Red whatsoever. And one thing we get is the adaptation of this manga. We get a more in-depth look at, the things that happen within the game. It's more well explored. A lot of the stories, like with the one where about the guy who gets put into the Pokemon, he like teleports inside to the Pokemon, which was really interesting. That whole story was really interesting, and the whole thing with Snorlax and them having to do the Pokemon like triathlon was like hysterical. And their whole beef with Team Rocket is pretty cool. I love the whole chapter with Misty and Red's interactions with Misty, because Misty gets a lot of time and shine in this book. And then later on she leaves after they fight each other, and I think he wins the battle. I can't remember if he wins. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, this series is like going home and visiting old friends. It certainly is a nostalgia trip, and it's one that's surprisingly really, really good. Like, man, I was blown away by the retelling of these old games within this manga. Basically, I really enjoyed it. I liked the humor. I thought the humor was really funny. At one point, they make a reference to Mickey Mouse and also Tom Sawyer at one point, which I cracked out. I just laughed out loud at that point where like they make those references. I was like, how do they know about Mickey Mouse? I was like, oh man. But yeah, it's pretty cool, and you know I can't wait to read more of this. It is a, you know, it's the stories are simple, but they're a lot of fun. You know, I felt like this manga was a fast, entertaining read. The artwork itself is like actually really good. I felt like it was really good. Like here's some of the artwork right here, and like the battle scenes. Oh my god, the battle scenes are like just amazing. I'll show you. Like right here, there's one where they're fighting like not zombies, like ghosts, which is pretty cool. You know, it's it's a fun read. I feel like anybody could pick this up and read this. Even if you're not a real fan of Pokemon, I feel like you would enjoy this. Or if you are a fan of Pokemon, or you're just getting into the Pokemon world, or you know, you're just becoming a fan of Pokemon, this is a fun place to start because I believe, was it the first couple books cover red and blue, then it goes into yellow, then it goes into like gold and silver, I think. So it's not one continuous story with our characters. We get new characters and new main characters later on, which is pretty cool. We're not just stuck with Red, but even though I really like Red, I think Red's a really, really good protagonist. He's a lot of fun, and I really like it. One little thing I really liked was in the Pokédex, when you pulled up the Pokemon in the Pokédex, you would see the pictures from the game, which was really fun. And one thing I liked at the end, you get to see like Red's Pokédex right here, and you know how many he's found and how many he's caught as of chapter 14. And this is his team right here. You have Pikachu, Bulbasaur, and Poliwrath, which is really cool that you get to see like his team start to expand and grow. And I want to see where this goes. You know, there were things in this that like shocked me. I was like, oh my god, that happened? Really? Like, oh my god. But it's a fun read. You know, people say, oh, it's for kids. Nope, it's for everybody. So let's wrap this up. I'm Otaku Mike. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Always helps. Or if you're new to the community, let me know. We can chit chat about Pokemon. If you read Pokemon Adventures, let me know. And what are your thoughts on it? I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.